Welcome to Total Retail Talks, your podcast channel for retail knowledge.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to episode 114 of Total Retail Talks. In today's episode, executive editor of Total Retail Joe Keenan sits down with Jason LeBoeuf, director of e-commerce at Asics, and Romney Evans, co-founder of TrueFit. Listen in as they discuss the importance of personalization, TrueFit, and new features on Asics e-commerce platform. Recorded live from this year's shop.org in Los Angeles. And now, on to the show.
I am Joe Keenan, executive editor of Total Retail. We're here at the shop.org Digital Summit in Los Angeles. I'm joined by Jason LeBoeuf, who is the director of e-commerce at Asics, as well as Romney Evans, who is the co-founder of TrueFit. So we're going to talk a little bit about how Asics is using TrueFit's technology. So thanks for joining me, guys.
Great. Glad to be here.
Great to be here. Thanks, Joe.
So let's start with that first kind of question. Jason, talk a little bit about the ways that Asics has partnered with TrueFit and how you're using their software.
Sure. So today we're using TrueFit on our product description page. So basically, with TrueFit's technology, our customers are able to create a profile, answer a few general questions, and come up with what fit of our products would be best for them.
And that's across all digital properties, mobile, if you have an app, desktop site. Yeah. Okay. So then let's talk a little bit about why you guys ended up TrueFit, and prior to working with them, what were the challenges that you experienced in trying to personalize that customer experience?
Sure. Well, being a footwear company, fit obviously is very important.
Yeah.
It's the major component of what we do, and over the last year, we've actually had some issues with fit on our product. So this is something we've been looking at for the last year to try to find a product to assist the customers in making those decisions. And TrueFit was the perfect partner. They're the leader in the industry that we've seen out there for working with fit, one of the first to market with this type of product. And all of our major competitors are using them, so it was kind of a no-brainer to go with the leader of the pack when it comes to fit.
Yeah, that's a great point. Your product line, footwear, obviously conducive to this technology. Maybe, Romney, you want to talk a little bit about some, not just Asics, but other customers as well, where you're seeing a wide adoption of your technology.
Yeah, so we play a really interesting role in the marketplace. Obviously, we're thrilled to be working with Asics. There's a ton of heritage, especially amongst performance athletes and runners, in particular. With that brand, so it's always fun to work with a company that has that going for them already, with a loyal customer following. And we play kind of an interesting role in the market. Obviously, we work with a lot of footwear and apparel brands, and we kind of serve as this trusted third party in the industry. We've amassed kind of a data collective amongst a lot of great retailers and thousands of brands. I think today we're on over 120 retailers, which constitutes, I think, 175 sites. And these are major enterprise accounts. And we get data now from thousands of brands. I think somewhere around 10,000 brands that we profile, and we can map that to transaction data, totally anonymized. We're not seeing any personally identifiable information, but we map that across this network of retailers. So we can actually start connecting in a very deep way and understanding about when a customer buys something, why they may have kept that item, because we don't just understand what style or item number that they bought. We actually understand really deep attributes on those things. So from brands we get manufacturer spec data. From footwear manufacturers, oftentimes we get last information. And then we do this detailed attribution process that helps identify a bunch of style attributes that are really important. When we talk about fit, it's not just a challenge of fitting, one piece of mass into another piece of mass. It's really complicated and nuanced. That when you talk to consumers and focus groups about what things fit them, what don't, you see this gradation, this overlap of them describing some personal style preferences that they like. Oftentimes, especially in performance footwear, you hear them describe kind of performance attributes of the shoe. And then there's also kind of technical fit attributes that might constitute things like length and width and and on the foot, there's kind of a ball girth measurement, which is funny to say, but this is actually really important to whether someone likes the shoe or not. And so we care about keeping track of all these kinds of details, and so it's actually valuable to everybody that we work with a really broad array of customers. Because ultimately, when a customer lands at the Asics site and they're shopping for shoes, this is a customer who probably looking for, a really nice pair of running shoes or performance shoes in most cases. And we can help eliminate a lot of the guesswork and a lot of the uncertainty that they might have when trying to make decisions. Whether it's a customer that hasn't bought the brand for a long time, or whether it's a diehard loyal customer, but they're not familiar with a new style that's come out. We can help bridge the gap in terms of product knowledge to find that. And maybe just one last point to make. I think where it's going is actually way beyond just fit and size, but actually curation, personal curation for a user, so that we can actually start to help surface the items that are most likely to be successful for a customer in terms of they're going to both love the style and they're likely to keep it. So we have a discovery engine that helps do that, which is sort of a new layer, and that's really kind of where it's going. But we're super excited to be, have the confidence engine at work on the Asics site. Thrilled to be working with Jason.
And I think Romney makes a great point there when he's talking about all the different brands that are already on TrueFit today. A lot of the technology that we look at for our site, you're only dealing with your own data. And with this, we get access to all the customers' data from basically the brands that they want to shop. So we're not just being able to serve them information that we know about them, but from what they're doing in their daily lives and the brands that they shop with, they're able to make informed decisions about our products, which they may have never worn. So for a customer that's never worn Asics before, they can get an idea from other brands they wear what would work for them. So it's very helpful for us as well with that part.
So at Asics, you're selling to customers on multiple channels. Obviously, you're selling direct on Asics website, wholesale partners, retail partners. Can you talk about kind of the personalization challenges that come with selling to customers in so many different channels?
Yeah, it's a very big balance because we're dealing with us being direct-to-consumer ourselves and also managing our retail partnerships, which is obviously wholesale for a brand like us is a very large significant part of our business. So it's really just trying to balance those relationships and working on where we share data with our brand partners and where we keep stuff for ourselves for our own channels as well.
Yep. And then, and Romney, you kind of touched on this, online, there's so much competition. Why is it so critical that you're not only personalizing that shopping experience, but kind of making it more seamless, easier, the recommendation engines, kind of giving customers that, everyone's so busy, they don't want to spend a ton of time, giving them what they want, making it easy for them to find. Can you talk about, why that personalization aspect is so critical for you at Asics?
Well, today, customers have so many places to pick from to buy. So you really have to make it a reason why they come to you. And so for us, we have a little leverage because we're the brand and people like to buy from the brand. And pricing, we're pretty much set across the marketplace of all the pricing for our products are the same. So it comes down to the service and the customer experience that you can provide. So any little bit of technology that we can add to give us an advantage over any of our retail partners or competitors to help customers make those decisions is what we do every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, just to add to that, when you think about a great brand like Asics, where they do have a lot of wholesale partners as well selling their shoes, one of the values that we can bring to the table is to actually help those products get recommended across the wholesale network. But when a customer comes to asics.com, they're actually coming there because they're not getting a subset of the merchandise that they get at any one wholesale partner. They're coming because they can get a really broad, a complete breadth of product selection for the brand right there, and so in that context, we can help personalize that assortment in a way that's optimized to the user, and also with how much mobile shopping occurs, the limiting form factor in mobile is another reason why curating the selection to a customer becomes super important because you're not looking at as many thumbnails of images on
size
one
charts,
page. Yeah,
those getting in your way of the shopping experience.
Yeah, exactly.
site search as well. The challenges with typing in a certain brand or certain style shoe.
Right.
Yeah. So then let's talk about the business benefits that Asics has realized from working with TrueFit. I would think one of the keys probably is return rate. But can you talk about some of the different things that you've realized business benefits?
Sure. And like I mentioned before, for us, it's really giving the customer a different experience and a better experience than other sites. So what we've seen so far is engagement. And that's really a lot of the pieces that I work on with trying to increase time on site with the customer and get them engaging more. So even if they aren't converting and purchasing, they've at least been on the site longer, they're engaging, they're creating a TrueFit profile, at least getting in our system. But we have seen over 150% increase in conversion from product page to cart since implementing TrueFit. So we've seen some definite benefits so far.
Romney, do you want to talk about that from not just a perspective of Asics, but across your TrueFit customers?
Sure. Yeah. I think what Jason's outlining is pretty consistent across the board. Is what happens is the consumer is a more confident consumer if they have a TrueFit profile. They buy more, they return less. It's not uncommon to see 100, 200, and in some cases, depending on the product category, it can even be as high as 300% increases in conversion rates. And so for the footwear category and performance footwear, that's a really strong result that Asics is seeing at over 150% increase in conversion rate. And it all comes down to confidence. The customer is eliminating some of the guesswork they might have, uncertainty, depending on if they're a new customer or if they're a customer who hasn't bought in a long time. And it reduces, what we see also is we reduce a lot of size sampling. So this is a natural phenomenon that happens across both apparel and footwear, where customers buying multiple sizes in the same style. They're basically buying an insurance policy with the thing that they think will work for them. But it really illustrates the uncertainty that exists in the process. And it's interesting. This may sound counterintuitive. It's actually not a bad behavior in terms of it actually tends to be a byproduct of really positive shopping behavior in terms of experimentation. Those tend to be the highest value customers tend to have the highest return rates. But I think what we do with our partners is by increasing the keep rate of the things that they do sample, it tends to drive a lot of it drives both top line value because they're buying more, but it also starts to increase the profitability because they're keeping more of what they were experimenting with. And so I sometimes liken it to the unemployment rate, return rates to the unemployment rate. If you have unemployment rates that are too low in an economy, it actually stifles growth. Like the economy can't grow if you only have like 1% unemployment because there's no supply. There's no excess supply to actually grow from. And similarly, if your return rates are too low, you might actually stifle growth. And so you want to let customers be both free to experiment and try new things while also trying to optimize the percentage and grow the percentage that they keep. And we see that happen. I think people tend to keep about 20% more than they did before once they have a profile. We see size sampling is one of the return behaviors that gets cut anywhere from 30 to 50%. That's a portion of the returns. There's color sampling. That's harder to reduce. That's more of a discovery-related curation type of challenge. Anyway, now I'm rambling, but there's some really cool ways that you can actually slice and dice the different return behaviors that you see to optimize along those lines.
Jason, you mentioned one of your goals is you want to get customers when they arrive on site to fill out that TrueFit profile. Can you talk a little bit about that, how they're presented with that, what the process is like?
Sure. So on the product page, customers can see the TrueFit logo, and with that, it pops open a modal within the site and asks them a few general questions. you can speak more to what's included in that, I think.
Yeah, it's similar to the way like Pandora, works with music, where they ask for a reference item, or music they ask for a song. If you're shopping for a pair of shoes, we'll ask you, what's a pair of shoes that you currently wear that fits you great, and they can identify the brand, whether it's Asics or another brand, and then they tell us about the size. And there's some parameters where in some cases you can put in a key style name if you want, if that brand has kind of core styles, meaning they're well-known styles that the consumer readily knows. And they can identify whether it's a dress shoe or an athletic shoe. And once they've done that, they're done. They can also give us a few heuristics like, is their foot wide, narrow, what kind of arch they have. But they're done in like 30 seconds. And so the effort's very low. Yeah. The reason it's low is because we have so much data on the back end to, once you tell us a couple of inputs, we have so much data both from transactions that we can connect with actual like product, like detailed product data, to get really confident about, okay, now with that point of reference, you're looking at these items on the Asics site, we can, with a high degree of confidence, tell you how this item is going to fit. We can even show you some detail about how it's going to fit in different kind of key areas of your foot, and increase your chances of success as a customer pretty dramatically.
Yeah. Are you incentivizing them to fill out that profile right now, or is
Not
it
today? No.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, great. Well, I want to take this opportunity.
Joe, really, isn't finding a great pair of running shoes without all the headaches incentive enough?
We do auto-select the size that TrueFit tells them is their perfect fit for them. So there you go.
Perfect.
So Jason's making it really easy for his customers, taking away any unnecessary steps.
Exactly. Well, this has been some great information, so I want to take this opportunity to thank Jason LeBoeuf of Asics, as well as Romney Evans of TrueFit. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening. For more information on this episode, be sure to visit our podcast channel page at www.mytotalretail.com/podcasts for show notes. Total Retail Talks is available on iTunes, Stitcher, and Google Play, but please remember to subscribe to our podcast channel page as well. Until next time, this has been Total Retail Talks.